Hey everyone, welcome back. It's January 2026, and today we are talking about something that almost every personal finance book, YouTube channel, podcast, and TikTok creator repeats year after year. The advice that literally everyone follows: save 10 to 20% of your income, buy a house as soon as you can, max out your 401k, pay off all debt aggressively, live below your means, invest in low cost index funds, diversify, dollar cost average. These are the golden rules, the ones drilled into us from Dave Ramsey to Graham Stephan to Ramit Sethi to every Reddit thread on personal finance. But here's the uncomfortable truth in 2026: a lot of this advice is still solid for some people in some situations, but blindly following it can quietly trap millions in the middle class comfort zone instead of real financial freedom. Costs have changed, wages haven't kept up perfectly, housing is unaffordable in many cities, interest rates are sticky, inflation is still chewing at cash, and the world rewards different behaviors now than it did in 2010 or even 2020. So, today we are going to walk through the most common pieces of financial advice everyone follows, why so many people swear by them, what still works, what's outdated or outright dangerous in 2026, and what smarter alternatives look like if your goal is actual wealth building, not just looking responsible. Stick around till the end because I'm going to give you a simple 2026 reality check checklist you can run on your own finances this week to see if you're following rules that no longer serve you. Let's start with the biggest one: save 10 to 20% of your income. This is the mantra. It's in every book. It's what millionaires next door supposedly do. And yes, saving is still better than not saving. But in 2026, the math has shifted. Average rent in major cities eats 30 to 50% of take home pay for young professionals. Student loans, healthcare costs, childcare if you have kids, these fixed expenses have grown faster than wages for most. So if you're forcing 10% savings while living on ramen and skipping doctor visits, you're not building wealth, you're burning out. The better question in 2026 isn't what percentage you save, it's what percentage of your income is left after truly non negotiable life costs. If after rent, food, transport, insurance, and minimum debt payments you have 30% left, great. Save and invest 15 to 20% of that. If you only have 10% left after basics, saving 10% of gross means you're cutting into survival. The real rule: first get your expenses under control so you have slack. Slack is the new savings rate. Next up, buy a house as soon as possible. For decades, this was sacred: build equity, tax breaks, forced savings. And in many markets from 2012 to 2021, it worked beautifully. But 2026 looks different. Mortgage rates are hovering around 6%. Home prices in desirable areas are still at or near all time highs relative to incomes. Starter homes in many cities require dual six figure incomes plus big down payments. Maintenance, property taxes, HOA fees, insurance, the true cost of ownership is often 20 to 30% higher than people budget. Renting while investing the difference in low cost index funds can outperform home ownership in many scenarios now, especially if you move for jobs or live in high cost coastal cities. The advice isn't wrong forever, it's context dependent. Ask: does buying lock me into a location and lifestyle I might outgrow? Can I afford the total cost without lifestyle compression? If the answers are no, renting and investing aggressively is often the wealthier path in 2026. Pay off all debt aggressively. Dave Ramsey fans are nodding. Debt is bad. Be debt free. And consumer debt, credit cards at 19 to 20%, car loans at 7 to 9%. Yes, kill that fast. But not all debt is equal. In 2026, good debt, low rate mortgages around 6%, student loans forgiven or refinanced below 5%, business lines of credit at 7 to 9% used to generate higher returns is a tool. If you can borrow at 6% and invest or build something that returns 10% or more after taxes, you're leaving money on the table by paying it off early. The blanket pay off everything fast rule made sense when rates were higher and investing returns were lower. Today, the math says destroy high interest bad debt first, then keep low cost productive debt as long as the spread is positive and you have an emergency buffer. Max out your 401k and IRA. This one is still mostly gold, especially if there's an employer match, free money, tax advantages. But in 2026, there are cracks. Contribution limits are around 7,500 for IRAs and 23,500 for 401ks before catch up. If you're young and in a lower tax bracket now, Roth contributions can make more sense than traditional deferral. And if you need money before 59 and a half for a house, business, or early retirement, maxing sheltered accounts locks your capital away with penalties. Taxable brokerage accounts with tax loss harvesting or direct indexing often give better flexibility and after tax returns for midterm goals. The rule isn't wrong, it's incomplete. Max the match first, then decide Roth versus traditional based on your current versus future tax rate. Then balance with taxable investing for liquidity. Diversify everything. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Solid advice. But in 2026, over diversification is a hidden trap. If you own 10 different index funds, individual stocks, crypto, real estate, and bonds, you're paying tiny fees everywhere, complicating taxes, and likely getting average returns with average effort. Many high net worth people in 2026 concentrate a bit more, 80% in broad US equities via low cost ETFs, 10 to 20% in real assets or private deals, and the rest in cash or hedges. Concentration with conviction beats excessive spreading if you understand the risk. Dollar cost average into the market. This one is still excellent for most people. Removes timing emotion, smooths volatility. But if you get a big windfall, bonus, inheritance, tax refund, studies show lump sum investing outperforms dollar cost averaging about 70% of the time historically. In 2026, with markets near all time highs, many people hesitate. The smarter move. If the money is truly long term, get it invested sooner rather than stretching it over 12 months. Live below your means. This sounds harmless, but it's often misinterpreted as live miserably. In 2026, the wealthy version is live below your potential means. Earn more so your baseline lifestyle stays reasonable while upside income goes to assets. Cutting lattes saves $50 a month. A 20% raise or side hustle adds thousands. Focus on the earning side as much as the cutting side. So here's your 2026 reality check checklist you can do this week. 1. Calculate your true slack percentage. After all non-negotiable costs, how much is really left? 2. Run the rent versus buy math with full ownership costs for your city. 3. List every debt. Separate bad high interest from good low rate productive. 4. Check your tax bracket and Roth versus traditional decision. 5. Look at your portfolio. Am I over diversified or under concentrated in high conviction areas? 6. If you have cash sitting for future investing, compare lump sum versus spreading it out. Most of the classic advice still works as a foundation, but in 2026, the winners are the ones who adapted to today's numbers, not yesterday's rules. If this made you rethink even one thing you've been doing on autopilot, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Which piece of advice are you questioning most right now? I read every single one. Thanks for watching. Let's build smarter in 2026. See you next time.